or something. I don't know, but sucks. I get it. I mean, I remember having to do that sometimes. I mean, I hate traveling and having my laptop with a bunch of screens and stuff. I don't even enjoy that. So on a phone, I can even imagine. A little too long. Well, guys, look, yes, obviously, if you look back, you could see, maybe chances to take a little bit of profit, right, when we were moving up. But this, I don't know, you guys lost. There's no way you lost more than 20%. Um, well, I mean, at least I would hope not. But this had an easy chance to be a 50% plus trade. And if you lost 10 or 20% at most, right, 20% at most, I would hope, um, then your risk to reward is there. You know what I mean? Vans, if you only lost 25 bucks, and at least from what I know, that is a very small, really good stop loss for you. So that's perfect. Great, good learning experience to kind of walk through a tricky trade and not let it kill you. A lot of people will just keep averaging in and get crushed. So I'm really proud of that. Sweet. Yeah, Duke. I mean, yeah, I get it. I get upset at myself too. Lost $3 and Scott didn't day great. Well, there you go. You lost $3 then. That's not too bad. You know, maybe the execution is kind of what you're saying wasn't as good as you would hope, but yeah, Vans. I mean, I was saying at pre-market today that this was going to be a trade I was going to try to hold for a little bit longer, and I think that like we saw today, NQ was just kind of on a downtrend today, right? The market was weak, and Amazon just couldn't get any sort of momentum by itself. Typically, I think it did well considering what the market was doing. Um, but if we had the market on our side, we would have had this kind of price action over here, on a breakout through like 189.50, right? Like this is the price action I was picturing up through this level, move into 190, and then if we could get that early on, which I was hoping for, that's where we could see that continuation for maybe another dollar move. But like I said, let's just compare the two, right? I'm gonna even get a little bit fancy here and do this. Let's just look at NQ. Hey, let me set this up a little bit better. NQ today off the open. You see how these candles don't look as good? That's why I use those arrow ones. But look what NQ is doing. I mean, we were kind of just on a downtrend here, right? All morning. And then we finally broke out. So when NQ is doing this, I mean, I'd even consider this pretty much just kind of like chop. But once we broke out, I mean, this was after an hour and a half of the market. That's what bounced Amazon here. And then NQ kind of went flat. And then Amazon finally had that momentum late in the day, just kind of out of nowhere. But we just weren't around for it. This literally happened right when my test started at 10:30 my time, and this is 10:30. And so that's just my luck today, I guess. But it is what it is. We'll learn from it. It looks like I saw a lot of people get out with some green today, which I love. Small green. But for you guys that took losses, they seem to all be very small. So I mean, guys, that's all I could ask for. That means that you're doing the right thing. Your losses are small, and for deals for days, you took a 10% loss. That's to me, that's a great stop loss. 10% is typically the kind of the golden rule for this kind of strategy is around 10%, 15%. Because this trade could have been 50, 60, 75, maybe even 100% if we really got that strong move through 190 kind of early on and fast. So, I mean, that's a 1 to 5 risk to reward at minimum. That's great. That means you can lose, 4 out of your 5 trades and break even. So, really, that makes me happy that you guys didn't take any major losses. I mean, the price action didn't really allow that unless you like held all day or something. But I'm proud of the stop losses that I saw. That means you guys are doing the right thing. That means you've learned something, and that's good. Anyone on Twitter that's watching right now, you guys can ask questions too, and I can answer them. So yeah, Breckle, Tom Brady armchair QB play. Know if I understand that. Is that a Tom Brady roast on Netflix kind of thing joke? I was just watching that before the stream. Oh, you hit the wrong hotkey too. Okay, that sucks. That's deals. That's kind of where I have my dislike for hotkeys. A lot of the guys at the trading firm, they use hotkeys, and I've just always been a guy who I just don't like that. I feel like I have more control with the mouse, and I could easily just accidentally hit a key rather than I could literally just move my cursor a centimeter away from that buy or sell button, and I'm fine. So that's kind of what I think about hotkeys versus using your mouse. I definitely do have a gaming mouse stick, man. I got a bunch of buttons. Yeah. What else you guys got for me? Jeez, meta. Pretty decent day, huh? What were the other two earnings today? Hot Pockets or Pizza Bites? Oof. Hey, I don't know. Both pretty good. Oxy, that was the one I want to see. It's kind of a weird chart. What are we down? Like half of $1. It's pretty good. I remember when Warren Buffett, I think it was. No, it wasn't this year. It had to have been back here in 2022 when Warren Buffett was buying, and it just like skyrocketed this. Maybe it was over here. I forget when it was. 2022 to me seems a bit far away. I don't know. You guys have any tickers you want me to look at? There's one other one. Disney, there was a trade there on Disney that I wanted today. But I wanted to focus on Amazon a little bit more. Simply just, another very simple gap trade. Still more room in the gap though. So Disney, not something I trade a lot, but on weakness here, I may look to trade it. Robinhood, yeah, that was another one. That literally went. No, Robinhood's tomorrow, right? 5-8, yeah. So tomorrow earnings on aftermarket. So yeah, Robinhood. I've seen some better things on Robinhood. I kind of forget details, but I do know that like Umar Ashraf has been holding a swing position for a long time. I think since like $8. He literally bought the bottom. That's crazy. I think it's 8. Maybe it was 11. one of the two, but he's up a ton on that. But I mean, their chart looks pretty good. I gotta say, I think it's definitely down a lot. Yeah, I remember that IPO is crazy, but starting to get some life back in it. I think above $20, that should maybe go on a little bit of a run. Yeah, Greco. I mean, they're probably always gonna get have the feds all over them, but let's see, Rivian. Theirs was what today? Yep. You know, this what I hate about these stocks, and honestly, I wasn't nearly as experienced as I was back then, but I've talked to you guys about 2021 when all the IPOs were happening. So look, I mean, Rivian, we had Robinhood, we had I think Upstart. We had Upstart in 2021. We had, I think, Fastly. No, not Fastly. What was the other one? Affirm. I know Affirm was. Beyond Meat. Was Baidu one? No. Anyways, I think you get the picture. There was just a ton of IPOs going on, and they were just ripping. I mean, even 2021 in general just brought so many trading opportunities. I mean, look at Beyond or Baidu here. Look at, I think I've shown you guys this before, but let's look at Beyond Meat. That was in 2021 or 2019, but still some moves in 2021 as well. Baba was a crazy one, and like all these stocks are just dead. There's just nothing here. Lucid, Neo. Look at all these crazy moves back there. Where Costco. When's that split? Or no, I'm talking about Chipotle is the one that's going to split. Costco's on the 30th. Costco's on a big run. But I think you get the picture that in 2021 there was so many IPOs and just there was so much just action. The market was just nonstop going up and up and up and not slowly. It was ripping. So there were so many opportunities to make money, and that was around the time where, we had COVID and we had stimulus checks, and everyone was working from home and stuff like that. So, So Derek on Twitter, So Chipotle is definitely going to be something we need to be watching. I don't want to trade it right now when it's this expensive, just because the options are just, there's no volume and the spread is terrible. I mean, look, there was 32 options traded today, and there's an 800-point spread. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to buy in and be down, like 30% instantly. So once this split happens, though, Zoom is another crazy one. Hang on, let me just go look at that chart. Zoom was a crazy one. They had one big earnings. Yeah, it was this one here. I know guys that were throwing in like $200 and made I think it was like 20 grand or something. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But back to Chipotle. Historically, when you see things split, you're going to see a sell-off right after. Why is that? Well, banks and institutions that have already, tens or hundreds of thousands of shares or millions of shares. Well, if I have 1 million shares and Chipotle splits 50 times, well, I then have 50 million shares. That's just a lot of shares. That's a lot of what they would call either alpha or beta, which is how much this is going to move against the market. But you just don't want that many shares on hand, right? It just doesn't really make sense. So you're just instantly going to sell those off. A bank would just sell those off and then look to buy in after the fact, right? Obviously, let's just throw that out of the equation. What's Chipotle been doing? Absolutely going on a tear. So let's just do the math here. Let's see, we closed today at 3193. So, let's just call it 3,200 a share divided by 50. So this will go down to $64 a share. Obviously, much, much, much cheaper than $3,200 for one share. So, like I said, historically speaking, you're going to see a sell-off right after splits. So let's just go to Tesla. I have two splits here I can show you. This one's a little bit harder to show. This is a 5-to-1 split, but this is when Tesla was like $2,000 a share. So Tesla, let's just say the high here was, let's just call it 160. It fell down the next 2 weeks to 112. So I mean, what is that? Like a 30% move-ish, roughly. Just kind of doing math on top of my head. But historically, you're going to see a pullback. What happens back here? Split, had the run up into the split and a pullback. Call it, let's just be really conservative here, 300 down to about 260. So, over a 10% move there. So I'm probably going to be looking to do some sort of short play. So probably, I'm not going to actually short Chipotle stock, but I'll be buying puts most likely the day after the split. But I'm not going to be like buying it right off the open. I'd be looking for a kind of some sort of quick move up early on in the day in the first 30 minutes to an hour or whatever. And then look to maybe buy like, 2-week out puts, not too far out of the money, but not right at the money. I have a feeling the IV is going to be a bit high just because it's a stock event, just like earnings would be. So market makers are going to inflate the contracts for that stock. Maybe not as much as earnings, but definitely some, especially for a 50-to-1 split. I mean, that's crazy. Another example is going to be Amazon. Look at their split here. They actually had bad earnings coming into this, and this is when it was a $3,000 a share stock. So, I mean, imagine this being 3,000 and this fell almost 50%. So, I think this was like a crazy, like $1,000 move, like $750 move or something in a matter of like 2-3 weeks. So I remember that. That was pretty crazy. That was 2022, I think. Yeah, 2022. Right before school got out, I remember. But that was a 20-to-1 split. But sure enough, this is kind of a different example just because we did have a big sell-off coming into this. But you can see a couple weeks after that sell-off, there actually was a run-up into this split. And on the week of the split, I don't know exactly what day it was. Let's see, on 6. Okay, so June 6, 2022. And this is obviously that week. So you know what? Let's just get technical here. Let's do a 4 years back, a daily chart, June 6th. So day of the split, you got the run up, kind of early on that day, we opened up, ran up about, I don't know, what is that, like $5-6, and then sold off from about 125 all the way down to 100. So once again, another example. These are the kind of ideas that you would bring to traders. Like, if I was, let's just say that I was like a quant, meaning I'm just kind of a guy who's trying to build algorithms, looking at data and stuff like that for a trading floor. And I'm looking like, okay, 8 out of 10 times after a stock split, stock X, Y, and Z sell off on average 8% or 10% or 12%. Those are the ideas that you would then bring to the traders and then they would trade on. So, looking back on history, typically, even just psychologically, things sell off after a split. So I don't want to keep talking about the same thing over and over, but do you guys have any questions on that or anything? A lot more people in here on YouTube and Twitter now. So if you guys have questions as well, you can ask. But yeah, so definitely going to be looking to take out some sort of short position on that, on Chipotle after the split. Let me see what date that is, though. June 26th. So I'll be at the trading firm then. It'll be fun. Cool. Well, we're about 30 minutes in, guys. So I'm here for y'all. I don't have a specific topic I'm going over. That's going to be for my Thursday lesson with the premium guys. So any questions you guys have? Anything you want me to go over? Any tickers you want me to go over? Any trades that you took that you want me to go over? I'll cover anything. AMD thoughts. Well, I mean, I don't have much thoughts other than this has been selling off pretty hard. So when I look at AMD, I'm instantly going to think, okay, around that this $150 level, we've been selling off for the past few months. Am I really interested in any sort of day trade here? No. But how am I going to compare this? Well, I'm going to go look at NVIDIA first. NVIDIA, definitely not as weak. Starting to rip back to all-time highs. That has strength. AMD looks much weaker. What's another competitor? Micron. Definitely not as weak and starting to bounce back up as well. What's another competitor? Intel. Intel, very wow. Look at this. Look at this. This thing's dropped like 25%. Intel to 28. All right, Porter. Their dividends have actually gone down. Their dividends used to be like 34 to 36 cents a share. And now they're 12 and a half cents. Yeah, so Porter, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But so RB, that's kind of how I would look at it. You know, I look at the competitors, see what they're doing. Does AMD look good to me right here? For a day trade, no. You know, earnings already passed. They didn't really move a whole lot. I would think that either they hold 150. And yeah, okay. So if you're looking leap wise, see, so like whenever you say thoughts for me, I'm obviously just gonna resort to day trading. For anyone listening, and I don't mean this critically, it's so much easier for you to give me some sort of idea to then think about and critique or agree with or whatever, rather than just saying thoughts, because you know thoughts is pretty broad. But no, you're good, RB. For leaps, yeah, I can definitely see that idea being a a pretty good idea. I mean, we're down here at 150, pretty solid support level, pretty nice psychological level. You know, Nvidia is starting to run back up, Micron's starting to run back up. I wouldn't be surprised to see AMD just kind of being a little bit late to the party, but you know, even getting a 15, 20, 25 point bounce. But like I said, day trading wise, not really interested here. But leap wise, I think, you know, if I was looking to take some sort of longer term sense, you know, like longer term swing or, you know, even just buy in to hold it for a few years, I don't think this is a terrible spot at all. You know, we're down what 25 and 50, like 75 points ish from highs. Nice, fans. Yeah, for sure, guys. That's what I'm here for. Aiming for 75 in the next month. I'm in a 75 call for 2 months out. Oh, sorry. I totally missed that, Porter. How about PayPal? I had some alerts go off on that. I was watching it at 70 and then it just died. So then I kind of just took it off my screen. So I haven't looked at it in probably like 5 days. But when the earnings, it did okay and then fell off. Price action wise, though, I mean, I kind of like it. You know, we've broken this downtrend finally. We kind of retested it. We're struggling a little bit. To me, it's like if you're already in it, then obviously you're going to be paying attention to it. But for me personally, it's like I don't care what it does until it gets back to 70. To me, 70 looks like an area where I would look to be interested. I think my trade idea was like 68 68 up into 70. You can tell here we got this resistance. So up above 68, I'm actually going to move this alert. So I'll look at it over 68, and then if that can rip back up into 70 and start holding above, that's what I like. First time in a week in 3 years. Wow. Okay. Well, then perfect. So we kind of have the same idea there. Over 70 is kind of like that very obvious bullish signal, So getting in a little bit here, kind of above 68 and then looking for this to kind of keep going. To me, I think that's a great idea. I completely agree. What's up, Moonveal? Give me something. What else you guys got? Ask away. It's one free lesson a week. It's 5 or bullish. What do you think? Well, I'm definitely bullish. And we're already above 515. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, like, you guys that have been here for a while know that I was talking about, okay, guys, there's going to be a pullback coming. There's going to be a pullback coming. And then finally we got it with the news, right? Overseas. And then we just instantly got bought back up. So, I mean, once we got that breather, buyers just could step right back in and buy that dip. And we're back. So, I mean, to be honest, like over 515 bullish, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely bullish over 515. To me, it's just like, well, to me, it's more about 520. So like 515 to 520, if we can hold up in those levels and then above 520, I think all-time high is pretty much inevitable. But other than that, I'm not much of a SPY trader. I just kind of use these futures as some metal longs. Cool. I'll look at that in a sec. What is your thoughts on gold? I am not much of a gold. Well, I'm not a gold trader at all. However, I do listen to podcasts and YouTube videos and all that crazy stuff a lot around the economy and just also like traders, right? Just like, famous Wall Street traders and whatnot. I've listened to a bunch recently. And I think his name's it's Gary something. He's got a buzz cut, and he was one of the biggest traders in London on the one of the at Citibank in London. And he is just like, I'm just buying so much gold, because he like I'm sure you guys are noticing as well, he is predicting that the rich are just going to keep getting richer, right? And especially in America, it's also happening overseas. The money is just getting sucked to the top where the rich people are because they own all the assets. So just like we saw during COVID, when all the people got stimulus checks and whatnot, where did that money go? Did those people, did the everyday person invest it? Did the everyday person use it? No, they spent it. And, maybe they needed it. I'm not saying that they just like carelessly threw the money away, but over time, where does that money go? It trickles all the way up to the top. So he's just like, I'm just buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. And he went to the LSE, the London School of Economics, so very prestigious economic school. And believe me, I don't go there. So I can't give you a whole lot more details on that. But that was something I think I watched 2 days ago on him. So thoughts on gold, Riley? I am not a gold trader, but that is something that I've heard multiple times. So if you're looking to long gold long term, I think that you're in the right place. If you're looking to day trade it, there's obviously been some action here in the last like 2-3 months. Crazy breakout on gold. Wow. That would have been a massive trade. But what are your thoughts on price chart for NVIDIA over the next week or two? So deals, I do think I'm about to type in deals as a ticker. I do think that considering what the market looks like now, like SPY and stuff, I do think that seeing SPY go back to all-time highs is just kind of inevitably going to bring NVIDIA to, let's just say 950. If NVIDIA gets a little bit of momentum, like we've seen, not even to mention earnings is in like 2 weeks, I think this does have a very, very good chance to get back up to that all-time high. And as I've said, like, 1,000 times, that $1,000 price level is going to act as a kind of a magnet, a psychological price target, and then we could easily break through it and go for another 50 or $100. So to me, in the next 2 weeks, I don't really know, just because earnings is coming up. So I don't know if that means people are going to be really buying into this, thinking that there's going to be another crazy earnings move, or if people are going to be like, geez, we're almost up 100% from, the earnings back when we ripped from 500 to, 1,000. So I don't know. I bought Palantir before the crash at about 25. So you think I'll get my money back? And if so, how long? That's tough to say. That's really tough to say. I think it depends on how long you're willing to hold. I think over time, I do know of bigger banks and hedge fund managers that have bought Palantir. I haven't bought any. That doesn't mean I dislike the stock, but I can only tell you what I know. I think it's back on its comeback. Like I said, I do think that hedge fund managers that I've heard of, and banks have been buying it in the last year or two. Did they buy in at 25? No, but I do think if you're willing to hold for, I don't want to say a year, but at least a couple months, I think it could easily come back. It's just a slow mover. It's just going to take a little while for sure. Yeah, no, Moonville. I mean, yeah, definitely. That was a pretty big hit. I think that was a pretty surprising hit. I don't think a lot of people expected um, that to drop like that. So don't feel like you're the only one. How about some metal longs today? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this has been a pretty decent dip buy. I'm not very happy with myself on missing that gap trade. I mean, look, 450 to 470, pretty solid. Let's be 9. Gary Stevenson, TK. Yes, thank you. That's 4 minutes late, but yeah, Gary Stevenson. That's it. It happens, Moonville. It happens. But that's I have done. I used to do stuff like that. I used to trade earnings when I first kind of got introduced to the trading world. So um, maybe you'll learn just not to do it. I mean, obviously, there's chances to make a killing overnight, but there's also many chances to lose money. There's more chances to lose money than to make money. Do you think looking at order blocks is a good way to mark targets and swing points? So, order blocks is pretty much level 2. It's just a little bit more of a visual representation of level 2. You know, I mean, there's so many different ways to trade. It's just like some people are really good at order blocks. Some people use them every day. Some people don't. Some people don't understand them. Some people trade terribly with them. You know what I mean? I think that level 2 is definitely worth it. Like I use level 2 every single day. It's like the boring way to look at it. Order blocks to me is like, maybe like more fun, I guess to say, to look at. But order blocks is simply just seeing prices that have orders sitting at them, right? So that's why I look at walls and stuff, because I know that that's where there's going to be some action. There's going to be some volume. There's going to be some volatility there that we can take advantage of. That's what I was thinking, pushing back to all-time high. I can't push up there without the video pushing too. Yeah, definitely. Talking a lot about picture on Market Watch. Here we go. Yeah, no, Moonville. I mean, sometimes that's just the way it goes. I remember, like in the first few months of me trading, I bought Apple, like Apple. It was an Apple earnings, and I don't know if it was like the first quarter that they made like I made like 10 billion or something revenue. I don't know. They broke some sort of record. right, for the company. It's like just like literally broke records like across the board. And then like three other big earnings names came out. Like it was Facebook at the time, right? FB, Google did that, and Microsoft did that. So those three ripped the market down, and Apple like popped, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make a ton of money. Those three did bad. Apple tanked with the entire market, and I got crushed. So you could say, well, I was right. I got unlucky. Well, you did, and the market doesn't care. You know, that's just why I just don't trade earnings anymore. I want to know when the earnings are, so I know that okay, maybe there's going to be an earnings run up we can take advantage of. Okay, we have earnings this week, and I stay away from it because IV's high. I'll look to trade it the day after, right? Because there's still going to be action around it. I'm just not going to get involved in all the kind of gambly type trades because I've lost too many times. And yeah, sometimes you can win, right? Sometimes you can't. If you're willing to lose a lot and then, wait around for that one big win, then good for you. But I would consider go have some fun at a casino rather than doing it on your phone. You know what I mean? Yeah, deals. I mean, you can literally be right in the stock go up and then IV crushes you and you don't make any money. You know, it just happens. There's just really nothing you can do about it. So when you look at it that way, there's so many more chances to lose money than to make them. Yeah, you could make a crazy 10,000% return one time, but you know, that's just the gambler's mindset to just continue throwing money on the fire until you catch one. Later, RB. Yeah, so where we got? We got about 15 minutes left. I guess I'll kind of chart real quick. Let me look at the earnings we have for tomorrow. So we have Uber, Shopify, and Affirm pre-market, also Toyota. It's not that exciting. But tomorrow we have Robinhood, Airbnb, AMC, Trade Desk, Beyond Meat, ARM. What's ARM been doing? That kind of chilled out, huh? That was a great setup too. Okay, so yeah, so ARM, Robinhood, Airbnb, AMC, Trade Desk, and Beyond Meat. Those are kind of the only ones I'm looking at. Would even consider looking at. So I'll leave that where it is. Next, okay. Do you think calls are a good buy right now on Tesla? Let's see. So they have been in the news recently. I think they're shutting down one of their German plants, or their plants in Germany, I guess you could say. Um, I don't know. It's just kind of a broad question. I mean, I don't know that calls are the perfect thing to be buying right now, as in like tomorrow morning. But Farouk, I hope I said that right. I can tell that you're new, but I'm more of like the day trader here. So if you're looking to kind of buy calls and swing them for a couple days, I'd talk to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. SLP, who is typing right now, but I don't see him in the voice channel. What a coincidence, Lee, if you can hear me. So yeah, from a day trader stance, I'm not sure that yeah, welcome. There we go. Cool. Look at Lee creeping over here. But nice, we'll do. So again, that's the guy you want to talk to right there for swing trading. I'm more of a day trader, so like I said, I don't know that tomorrow's the right day. It's not really something I'm interested in. Um, However, if we can then, like for me, it's like I'm more of a guy that's going to wait for this to bounce back up to like above 185, 190, and then look for it to start making a move back into 200. I'm not going to be trying to dip buy something and hold for days and days and days until it goes up. It's just not my style. So nice. Okay, cool. I think that's very doable. Just be safe. Don't go all in on one specific trade. Um, Definition of day trader. Well, Derek on Twitter, um, a day trader is just someone who buys and sells a stock or option within the same day. So that could mean you buy the minute the market opens and you sell the minute the market closes. For me specifically, there's kind of a different term, like scalper is what you would say. So typically my trades are under 10 minutes. There are rare occasions when I will, hold the trade for maybe 30, 45 minutes or an hour. There are even rarer occasions where I will swing for, overnight or a few days. So, um, yeah, well, Farouk, we call that your tuition to the markets. Everyone does it. You got to get beat up a lot until you get good enough to rob your money back from the market and then some. Derek, Airbnb, haven't really looked at the chart. I liked 155 and we are above that now. So not really any thoughts for me personally. I mean, I could, yeah, for me, it's like they have earnings coming up tomorrow, right? If you want to deep dive into the fundamentals on what the predictions are, what you think on things. I mean, my one thought would be I think a lot of people cannot buy homes right now. The average homeowner age is going through the roof. The average age of, I think it's like people living or still dependent on their parents is going through the roof. Like I'm talking upper 20s, maybe even in the 30s. Um, so that could be something to consider when thinking people can't own and buy. They're more so renting. Maybe a thought. I don't know. Maybe Airbnb does good. That's just kind of the one thing to me that comes to mind. Yeah, okay. So you're gonna be more of a swing trader. So Farouk, if you come in the chat here and then you buy premium, you'll then be able to go in a specific coach's corner. So it'll be with Mr. SLP if you're looking to swing trade, and that's where he'll do like very specific premium lessons with you and stuff like that. Nice. Sweet. Well, we're happy to have you. Well, it seems like things are kind of slowing down. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. You guys got anything for me? If not, we can wrap things up here in a few minutes. Do I need a promo code or is there one? Farouk, I don't know exactly. Let me just do this right here. What the heck? I don't know if we're doing any promo codes right now. Yeah, or Nikki, yeah. So yeah, sorry, I can't. I just can't answer that. I don't know. But they will reach out to you, I'm sure, within the next like 5 or 10 minutes, and let you know. Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Miss live trading today, though. There's going to be, I think there's some every single day. Do you only trade American stocks or are you looking at the world markets as well? So I do only trade American stocks, and to me, American stocks is even way too broad to for me to consider saying that. I trade like pretty much just big tech stocks. So like Tesla, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, Nvidia, Google, I think I already said Microsoft. Um, so I trade just those big mega cap names, those the biggest companies in the world. There are times where I'll branch out to like oil if something's going on, or like defense stocks like Lockheed Martin or Boeing, um, stuff like that when they're moving. But typically, I'll stick to my same basket of stocks and look at them every single day, and that's it. Mm. Um, yeah, thank you, Duco. Yeah, so Vance, I'll be in the chat, but I think like you saw last week, I'll just type up a storm. So if you guys want to turn your ringer off or notifications off, uh, you may want to, because I kind of have to, just like I talk in the mornings, just second by second, what I'm thinking, what's going on. Um, I'll be doing that. So I'll be in the day trade chat as well. I think some people got mad that I wasn't typing fast enough in like three different channels at once the other week, but I can only do so much over text. Farouk, if you're on your phone, look at the bottom left. It's the second button to the left. Say messages. If you're on desktop, look at the very top left of your window. You'll see a little notification, probably like a red one. Um, Anytime you're signaling a trade or setup, can you add us? Yes, I definitely can. And I should have done that the other day, so that's probably why I got a little bit of hate. But I can only help the majority of people that I can, and I think that most of you liked it. So, but yeah, deals. I definitely get. Yeah, no, literally, Duco. Yeah, I just, you guys know my style. You guys know my style. Of course, I wish I could be a mic, but voice. If I send a voice recording in, then that's even too slow sometimes. So. Oof, that sucks, Farouk. So the market opens at 6:30 for you. So I mean, I always recommend at least get up an hour before the open. Farouk, if you don't know, Porterhouse is across the world, so his market time is different. Yeah, 6:30 Pacific. Yep. So yeah, so you're on the early side for sure. So yeah, I typically, like I said, I typically like to recommend getting up an hour before the open, just so you're you know awake enough to critically think and make good decisions. Yeah, Lee. Well, Lee can't even hear me. Um, yeah, off the open trading is definitely pretty crazy, but I'm like so used to it. Well, guys, any last minute questions or should we head out? So I'll be live trading tomorrow morning, but during the day it's gonna be pretty hectic. I gotta move my entire setup home, back home because I'm moving out of my college house for the summer. Who's the guy talking? Your name? I'm Ethan. everyone's got like cool nicknames and stuff, but I'm just Ethan. Yeah. Yeah, of course. 60-year-old day trader. Well, Farouk, you've made it. Well, guys, anything else, or should we hit the road? This is a fun one. Farouk, welcome to the family. I think you're gonna love it here. You can reach out to any of us anytime you need. So this lesson specifically is once a week on Tuesday nights. I do think that there's a few other free lessons, but it sounds like you're going to be trading with Lee. So you'll see. If you go to the, let's see if I can. Well, there's an events and updates tab, so you can click on that little link I just sent there. But yeah, no, I mean that's the whole thing. So we all do live trading, which you'll get used to it. And again, I know it's your first time here, but if you scroll all the way up through all the channels that you see, all the way to the top, you'll see an events tab, and that's where you can go through and look at all the upcoming events that we have planned. I don't know how to tag that. I guess I could copy the link, maybe. I can't. Cool. All right, guys. Well, yeah, there's multiple events every day, so cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming, and if you have any other questions, just DM me. It was fun as always. So yeah, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you in the chat in the morning. Later.